As lighting designer, I expect that you should know that that's my color. Broadway pink, if you please. Well, good evening, folks. My name is Willie Carlisle. I'm here to do, I think, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of folk songs. I've forgotten. 90 whole minutes of folk songs up here at the Westport Saloon. It's a great pleasure to be back here. I'm all the way from Fayetteville, Arkansas. I'm on tour out west. I'm finishing this tour at the Alaska Folk Festival. So this is the first goddamn leg. I got a long way to go before I get there. A couple long drives over the Rocky Mountains. I'm going to start off with, well, I'm going to do whatever I please up here, but I'm going to start off with a folk singular oration, sort of a oblation to the whole set and to the evening of music that is going to culminate with Mr. Tyler. Is it Giles or Giles? Have I been saying it wrong all these years? It's Giles? How guileless of me to be saying it incorrectly all this time. Is it, which is it? It's Giles? Okay, good. How guileful and guileless. I'm going to start off with an Acapulco number that I've slowly added instruments to until I have these cowbones and this here tutor to play along with it. It's called What the Rocks Don't Know. Well, after 29 years, I can say I never thought it'd turn out this way. Stumble and a stutter, stutter and a cry. Ain't gonna figure out a reason why. The song hurts my throat, the banjo cuts my side. Hear the road crying out through the railroad ties. Road crying out through the railroad ties. They're singing, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I'll go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, all my friends in Arkansas, all alone in Maine, 6 to 1, half dozen's the same. No back bay sailing, no great divide. Mississippi deep, Rappahannock wide. Angel's wings on a Walmart sign. Angel's wings on a Walmart sign. They're singing, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I'll go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, Kansas City Rib Shack, baby, you're mine. Give me the pig, the cow, and the swine. My weights, my love, my shimmy, my shine. Damn, I found Jesus in a barbecue line. Damn, I found Jesus in a barbecue line. That's about Arthur Bryant's and no other place because vinegar is the only way to make barbecue sauce. I'll tell him, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I'll go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, all I want is penis and old-time religion, 6-piece and a biscuit, Bojangles, fried chicken, put tamales in my coffin, dig my grave with a fork. I love to eat, I hate to work. I love to eat, I hate to work. I'm gonna tell 'em, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I'll go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. I'd like to see the world in a living color. One color's just the absence of the other. To get the whole spectrum of horror and elation, call good time numbers at a Conoco station. Good time numbers at a Conoco station. And tell them, well, love, your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I'll go when the road cries out what the rocks don't know. 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 Thank you. I sure appreciate you guys. It's really great to be back here in Kansas City. Seems like it's been too long, and Well, now that I'm looking at some of you, I'm thinking it hasn't been long enough. So I am a folk singer, so I do unfortunately have to do actual folk songs. I apologize for that in advance, that the American vernacular folk tradition is boring. You know, it's like your greens. It's good for you, but pretty boring unless you put a lot of bacon in it. So I'll try to be the bacon to this. I'm going to do a real dumb one to make sure that we start off straight. I think that this song gets truer and truer the older I get, because I think it's our current political condition that the more you say something dumb, the truer that it gets. So I've been repeating this over and over again, making it truer and truer. Learned it from Grandpa Jones. It's called I Don't Love Nobody. After my money, don't care for me. I've always been single, I've always been free. I don't love nobody, nobody loves me. I went down to Alabama to settle down for life. I met a gal named Dinah, I told her for my wife. I told her that I loved her. I asked if she'd be wed, oh, she did not hesitate one bit. This is what she said: no, I don't love nobody, nobody loves me. Yes, after my money, don't care for me. I've always been single, I've always been free. I don't love nobody, nobody loves me. I went down to Arkansas to find a little heat. I asked a pretty lady, I said, say, would you beat my meat? I told her that I loved her. I asked if she'd be spread. Oh, she did not hesitate one bit. This is what she said: no, I don't love nobody, nobody loves me. Yes, after my money, don't care for me. I've always been single, I've always been free. I don't love nobody, nobody loves me. No, I don't love nobody, well, nobody loves me. There it is. Thank you very much. Folks, that's just to prove that I can, that's all. It's not to prove anything besides I'm willing to break at least one or two banjos in pursuit of something stupid. I have enough tax problems that this isn't a very funny joke to me, but other people like it. That I think that if you break a banjo, you can put that on your tax return, and the government will give you money. I don't pay enough taxes to know how that works. Which is to say that it is a charitable act. I'm here to workshop all these new jokes, folks. I should also say, that somebody recently called me a troubadour, but I've decided that there's no money in that. I've decided I want to be a different breed of performer. I don't want to be a troubadour. I want to be a Labrador. I don't want to be a troubadour giver. I want to be a Labrador receiver. I want to learn to draw, too. I want to be a Labradoodle. You're welcome. Thank you. Is there a tip jar around here? Holy shit, look how big that tip jar is. Well, I'm going to take a huge risk and do a sentimental old song that goes real slow, which is always terrifying because, you could lose every person in the room. They could be like, well, what is this feely nonsense that this tubby, straight-looking folk singer is singing? I'm going to do a song that I learned from one of my great mentors, the poet Carl Sandburg. I learned this from him. It's called Careless Love. And Carl Sandburg had this problem where he couldn't sing very good and he couldn't play the guitar very well either. So he and I get along real well. And this has a very singable chorus. If you'd like to join me in it, it just goes, love, oh, careless love. Love, oh love, careless love. Love, oh love, careless love. I love someone that don't love me. Now some of you may think that sounds complicated, but I promise it's just the same thing over and over again. This ain't great poetry at all. Here it goes. careless love. I love someone that don't love me. Well, once I wore my apron low. Well, once I wore my apron low. Well, once I wore my apron low. Then my true love had to go. Oh love, oh careless love. Love, oh love, careless love. Love, oh careless love. I love someone that don't love me. And now I wear my apron high. Now I wear my apron high. Now I wear my apron high. Since my true love said goodbye. I love my mama, papa too. I love my mama, papa too. I love my mama and my papa too. I'd leave them both to go with you. And once you came running by my door, and I cried that night and the night before. Yeah, once you came running by my door, I cried that night, I cried no more. Oh love, oh careless love. Love, oh careless love. Oh love, careless love. Love someone that don't love me. Oh love, careless love. I love someone that don't love me. Thank you very much. That's become one of my favorite songs to do because it just is one of those songs that no matter how much you think you're a smart SOB and that you're writing songs just as good as the old folks, one comes along that says nothing but careless love. I love someone that don't love me. And to have that knock your socks off night after night, well, it's a genuine pleasure. I'm going to do one about drugs now. Just to prove, I like to try to still, nowadays that I've totally gone folk and pretty much left my punk rock roots, not entirely in the dust. I still rip my sleeves off every now and again. But now that I've mostly left my punk rock roots in, back in the MySpace days that they're relegated to. In fact, my punk band is still on MySpace, if you can guess the name. It rhymes with Ponerbis. And it's just as bad as you think. Now that I've pretty much left those days behind, I like to sing this song to just prove that I'm still a badass. Still staying up later than I should, according to my parents. Still doing drugs most of the time, every time I get the chance, but I don't have enough money to really do that kind of drug lifestyle, you know what I mean? There's a whole lifestyle, you got to buy all these posters with mushrooms on them and stuff. Seems like a lot of work to keep up with the Joneses. I don't have that much oil in my hair for dreadlocks. And I believe in cultural appropriation, if you can believe it. Anyhow, this is all patter for my tuning and is not related to the song. Oh, again, I'm not rich, so I don't do cocaine, generally speaking. The substance that I get a hold of is not, you couldn't call it cocaine. It's pretty much like baby powder with like a little bit of cocaine in the bottom. You know how that is? This is a song about doing too much of the aforementioned baby powder-like substance, pulling out your Nokia flip phone because it is 2007 and your punk band has just finished playing, and calling your mother and saying, "Mom, I don't want to be a musician anymore. There's too much bad cocaine in this business." 8 miles out of Memphis, I'm staring at the rain. 8-ball left of the cheap cocaine. Looking at the sunlight, light through the pines. Couldn't tell you what it is, it's always been mine. Now that I'm gone, I think of the man with a meth pipe clutched in his bone-thin hands. Said, "Hey brother, I hope you get straight. I bet I don't meet him at the pearly gates." Saying, "Hey mama, I've been staring at the rain." A little heartbreak, a little soul pain. Up all night on the cheap cocaine, trying to make it better. It's always the same. Well, I made a few new friends in a Rockford bar. I told them all lies, I said I was in charge. At the after party, where the girls would be loose, I partied with the metalheads, gin and juice. Hung over as hell, slept in shit on the lawn. I'm tired of 20-somethings and their punk rock songs. Wake up in the morning, stumble towards the dawn, saying, "How you doing, boy? It's been too long." Saying, "How you doing, boy? It's been too long." And saying, "Hey mama, I've been staring at the rain." A little heartbreak, little soul pain. Up all night on the cheap cocaine, trying to make it better. It's always the same. On the streets of Chicago with Sidekick Sally, hitting up the bars on Viagra Alley, where the men pick up women not half their age. All I had for them was my tears and my rage. I thought it was a fight. I went for my knife, and the man shook my hand with his kids and his wife. And I was so ashamed, I hung back and cried. Leave all that to St. Peter, wait till I die. Leave all that to St. Peter, wait till I die. And sing, "Hey mama, I've been staring at the rain." A little heartbreak, a little soul pain. Up all night on the cheap cocaine, trying to make it better. It's always the same. I've been up all night, I've been staring at the sky. I'm so lonely, I couldn't tell you why. Thank you very much. Wow. The old beer guitar, favorite ending of Jimmy Rogers and many other country music favorites. Yeah, that's beer all over my fretboard. That's going to be sticky. Good thing I have a snot-covered handkerchief. Oh, I got it. Thank you. This is already gross from things that are my own fault. Can you call bodily functions your own fault? Is that? We don't need to go there. It's too early. We can muse on this later. I guess I'd better play a little accordion. So I started playing accordion because I got tired of people making fun of me for playing the banjo all the time. That's a nursing home joke. Goes over really well at nursing homes. It's about a third of my audience. The other third is children, and then somewhere in there is drunk people. Which one are you tonight? I've had all 3 nights this week. Oh, I started playing accordion really because I fell in love with Tex-Mex music, sort of the conjunto diaspora music down there. And there's this kind of great swath of great overlooked American folk music and folklore from Mexico and South Texas, North Mexico and South Texas, the only kind I know about, but I'm sure there's all kinds of great stuff everywhere. But Bluebird and Oka, those great record labels that were doing race records, that were these great big crossover hits, between African Americans and white Americans, they started thinking, well, where's our secondary market? And they thought, well, let's plug into the Latina market down there and see if we can get some crossover hits with white people from, Latin America. And they couldn't seem to do it, I think because there was no systematic oppression and taking of culture from the Latin Americans in the same way that there had been from the African Americans. Which is to say that just because of slavery, we don't know about this amazing, fantastic music from just south of the border and near us. It's the gift that keeps on fucking us up. Anyhow, that very slapdash analysis of Tex-Mex conjunto music probably just went out into the entire internet. So I apologize to any expert folklorists out there. But I got started loving this because a guy who works for the Journal of American Folklore asked me to write a review of a conjunto record. And I said, well, I don't know anything about that. I don't speak any Spanish. And he said, well, you're the only accordion player that I know. And so I did it, and I pretty much figured out that there's these amazing old grandpas playing this whip-ass, almost ragtime kind of music. And then I was talking to this old guy named Glenn Orland, this old cowboy singer, lives out in Stone County, Arkansas, or did. He passed away recently, and he knew all these vaquero ballads from when he was a roper as a kid in New Mexico. So I had like an entry point. There it was, right there. So long story short, this guy that I learned this song from has a lot of the problems associated with contemporary hillbillydom that would typically separate us from other cultures and races and so on and so forth. Suffice to say that he was pretty racist. But he did know all these cool old vaquero ballads, and he taught me this one called La Canción Mixteca. It's about being as lonely as a leaf in the wind. And I apologize also to the internet, but to everyone here for my Spanish, because I did learn it from an old hillbilly.
Estoy del suelo donde he nacido. Inmensa nostalgia invade mi pensamiento. Y al verme tan solo y triste cual el viento, quisiera llorar, quisiera morir de sentimiento. Quisiera llorar, quisiera morir de sentimiento. Tierra del sol, sospiro por verte. Y ahora yo vivo sin luz, yo vivo sin amor. Y al verme tan solo y triste cual el viento, quisiera llorar, quisiera morir de sentimiento. Quisiera llorar, quisiera morir de sentimiento. Quisiera llorar, quisiera morir de sentimiento.
Because I had talked for so damn long, I forgot to introduce that second tune, it was called La Ciccia Doneita, which I think is a lovely name for a tune. I think it's a love song because, roughly translated, that means the woman who fries pork skins. Which, if there is there any other kind of love, really, than the love between a man and the woman who fries pork skins? Anyhow, that concludes the Spanish language apportionment of our programming here this evening. I'm going to do another cowboy song, and then, well, I always like to say at this point that I'm not an actual cowboy. You know, just in case there was any confusion there. I went over to London, and everybody just thought I was the 100% genuine article, and that I didn't just love to go shopping, you know. But it was fun to be the genuine article for a minute, to be the real American cowboy for a hot minute. And they said, well, what's Arkansas like, and so on and so forth. And they had all these prejudices and so on and so forth that are sure the kind that we have for them. So I always like to say at this point that I'm not an actual cowboy. I don't ride horses at almost 300 pounds. I don't get on top of any person or animal that can't say, sure, why not? You know, I don't want to hurt anybody. Emotionally or physically, you know. It could really hurt that horse's feelings. Anyways, I'm gonna do an old cowboy ballad that I learned from Steve Cormier. Lives out in New Mexico. I went over to his house in December, and I got him drunk, and I clogged his toilet, and we had a great old time. He taught me all these old dirty songs, but they're so dirty they don't bear repeating. A lot of these old cowboys were illiterate. And so when they do vulgarity, they go full in. They have no, it's not even smart vulgarity. It's just I can't even say those words comfortably in here. And there's a picture of Johnny Cash flipping everybody off. That's how bad these are, is that I can't say them in front of Johnny here. I'd feel bad for him. I feel like he'd be scandalized. Go do a bunch of cocaine or beat his first wife or his second wife, one of those things. Anyways, am I speaking bad about you, Johnny? Excuse me. Anyways, this is one of those real folk songs that's kind of so old that it may or may not be boring, so I try to spice it up a little bit. This is called High Tone Dance. It was written in 1901 by an ostensibly illiterate cowboy who goes into a bar in Denver, and he's looking for conjugal visitation with what is commonly known as the fairer sex. And he finds out that everybody there is a lot richer than he is, and he's very uncomfortable. So I know nobody feels like that in the Westport Saloon, but I'm sure you know what it's like. Here it goes. High Tone Dance. Well, you can't expect a cowboy to educate his shanks in etiquette-ish fashion under aristocratic ranks, for he's often been accustomed to shake and heel and toe at them racklin' rancher dances where that kind of etiquette it don't much go. So you can bet I had 'em laughing in this awful sort of way. Boy, I had 'em yanking up their squitters in excited sort of play. When I happened into Denver, perchance to take a prance in the snooze and easy measures of a high-tone dance. When I got amongst those ladies in their frocks so fleecy white, and the dudes topped off in wrappings, boy, they were truly out of sight. I tell you what, folks, I got embarrassed. Oh, I could not help but keep from feeling like a burro in a flock of pretty sheep. And every step I took was awkward. Oh, I blushed so bloomin' red, just like the principal decoration of a turkey gobbler's head. Well, the ladies said was seldom that they'd ever had a chance to see a good time puncher at a high-tone dance. So I cut me out a heifer. And I know that you shouldn't call girls heifers, but this song was written in 1901, and it was written by a cowboy, so heifer is ostensibly somewhere very close to his metaphorical Nezpa compared to the rest of us. And if you're going to sing all these old folk songs for a primarily white middle-class folk music listening audience, which is pretty much really the audience as it is today, then you're going to change the words just to make sure that they're all really comfortable and in their like little safe places within. You're burying all the good stuff about American folk music, which is that it has coded inside of it all the problems with racism and sexism and colonialism that have been endemic to American society since the very beginning. So I cut me out a heifer from that flock of pretty girls. Oh, I sidled up beside her just to dance that dreamy whirl. Well, she put her arms around me in this loving sort of way, and we drifted into heaven as the band began to play. But I could feel my neck burning from her nose's breathing heat. As she do-si-doed around me, that heifer kept stepping on my feet. Oh, she gazed into my squinters with this soul-dissolving glance, quite conducive to the pleasures of a high-toned dance. So when they struck the old cotillion of that music bill of fare, every bit of devil in me seemed to take out on a tear. I let out a cowboy war whoop, and I started into rag. Oh, I cut in with my trotters till the floor began to sag. Oh, my partner, she got seasick, and she stumbled for her seat. So I balanced to the next girl, but she dodged me slick and neat. I tell you what, folks, I pulled the creases off their go-to-meeting pants when I put the cowboy trimmings on that high-toned dance. Isn't that stupid? I think that's become my favorite stupid song that there is. Just goes to show, somebody doesn't have to be illiterate to write something really stupid, you know? Well, I'm going to do another original here. That'll conclude the, well, almost conclude. I may do another cowboy song if I feel like it. The problem with those cowboy songs is that they're hard to introduce. You have to be a pretty loquacious MFer or a loquacious MFer to get those things out. Well, I'm going to do one that I wrote for my roommate. This is before I was telling everybody that I was some kind of queer myself, so I was always looking for some kind of queer experience to write about. And my roommate told me this kind of terrifying story where they used to be somebody's beard, which is when you pretend to be straight by dating somebody in a straight-looking way for the sake of your parents or your church or whoever. So I found that a lot of folk songs are about social or political conditions that deserve to perish, but there's no reason for us to be singing about boll weevils or crop failures or anything like that anymore. So I wrote this instead. This is called Kristen on the Side. She's a pastor's daughter, nobody loves her. She's 250 pounds, not one of them's muscle. Nobody bought her any braces like the others, so she's still gap-toothed like my mother. It was the summer of 2007 when I mistook a half-rolled joint and her lips for heaven. I guess I'm not that into it, nothing to compare. It was easier to lie to myself when she was there. But I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. Yes, I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. And she's the only one who even knows what's on my mind. I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. We
go to church on Sundays and write notes in our hymnals. In a red pen we'd draw up all our future tattoos. Then spike the coffee afterwards with stolen spirits. Say, here's my body, here's my blood too. And she never spoke in tongues, but her tongue said what mine would not. She never spoke her mind was lost on me. I kissed her brother at her 19th birthday party. I never felt so alive, never felt so free. But I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. Yes, I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. And she's the only one who gives a damn what's on my mind. I'm still seeing Kristen. I'm still seeing Kristen. I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. I could have the life wrenched out of me. I can't jimmy anyone's heart. I could go back to the girl that's known me from the start. I could crumple $50 inside my pocket. I could say goodbye. I could stroll to certain bars downtown with a cold look in my eye. But I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. Yes, I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. And she's the only one who gives a damn what's on my mind. I'm still seeing Kristen. I'm still seeing Kristen. I'm still seeing Kristen on the side. She says, boy, say why be lonely? You ought to just come home with me. I can tell that she's more the adventurous kind.
Oh, God, it's got to be time for another old boring folk song now after all that. Yeah. This is, thank you, brother. Don't go broke on my account. You want Penny Evans? Sure, yeah, I'll do Penny Evans. Okay, let me do one more. Let me do two super depressing ones, then I'll do the most depressing ones. You know, I almost brought my cranky in again, and I didn't one more time, I'm sorry to say. I should have brought it. I'm a fool. Tyler should talk me into it. Where is he at? You saw me thinking about it in front of my car, right? You should have convinced me. Anyways, I need convincing. I'm my own boss, and really, the hours are shitty, and he never makes a decision. You know. I have no business singing this one, thinking of which. I've been singing this one for 10 years, and I only just now figured out what it means. This song by the late, great anarchist folk singer Utah Phillips. It's, I used to think that it was about the promise of the West, the indefatigable spirit of the West, the unconquerableness of the western wide open vista landscape that we have just to the west of us. But to hear Utah Phillips talk about it, he says, this is about how no matter how much work the boomers and the people who won the West did, they never saw any of the money. Which I think is a really beautiful revision, is that this is not a song about some untouchable, intangible thing. It's about the way that our forefathers were deprived of the money that they had earned by bigwigs. It's funny how things don't change. Oh, this is called She'll Never Be Mine.
My love is a river where the white water sport. I hunted and trapped her by the gates of Lodore. She sings with the spirit of a cool mountain rain, where I won her bright silver in a high Coeur d'Alene. She'll never be mine, she'll never be mine, though I won all her treasure so simple and fine. I know she'll never be mine. And if you have any cojones out there, that's the chorus. It's real singable. It goes, she'll never be mine, she'll never be mine, though I won all her treasure so simple, so fine. I know she'll never be mine. If you don't have the cojones, you can turn to the person standing next to you and ask if you can borrow theirs. I mean, non-gender specific cojones, I should say. Well, my love's a cantina where I drink with my friends. I called her Dolores and sometimes Cheyenne. I followed her begging all over the West. My love is a headlight on the Midnight Express. She'll never be mine, here it is. She'll never be mine, though I won all her treasures so simple and fine. I know she'll never be mine. Well, my love is Montana and the high Douglas fir, and many long summers I labored for her. I followed her begging all over the West. My love is a headlight on the Midnight Express. She'll never be mine, she'll never be mine, though I won all her treasure so simple and fine. I know she'll never be mine. My love is the light that a boomer will lead. You chain her with lies, you trap her with greed. My love is a dreamer, I follow the dream. You say she's a beggar, I say she's a queen. Someday she'll be mine, someday she'll be mine. I have won all her treasure so simple and fine. I know someday she'll be mine. I know someday she'll be mine. I know someday she'll be mine.
All right, I'm going to do an old hymn. I guess I'm going to do 2 hymns in a row, because Wednesday, right? Y'all just got back from Wednesday night Mass, I know. So, we'll do a couple hymns just to make sure that you remember, the good that the Holy Spirit has done for you. I like to welcome the Holy Spirit into my home. Well, the homes of the people that I'm crashing with. By lighting a little candle when we're about to have dinner and looking square at the dog and saying, "You can't have any of this food. This is mine." And I don't really want to think about the political ramifications of that in terms of implying that other people may or may not be less deserving of food than the other, but really actually give the dog all kinds of food. I just like to make her beg for a second. This is a song by a good communist named Sara Organ from Kentucky. She was born in 1910. She grew up and had her songwriting forged in the fire of all the mining troubles that were happening in Kentucky and North Carolina in the 1930s that still kind of politically trouble us today. Woody Guthrie said that her voice was like stronger than a rifle, I think is what he said. And I agree, it was high and nasally and difficult to listen to. That's one of the reasons I kind of like it. It's a challenge. And this is a hymn that I learned from her
set to an old Doc Boggs banjo tuning. And when she sings the chorus of this song, my warfare will soon be ended, she's not talking about any kind of spiritual war in my mind. She's talking about a literal war for human and civil rights beyond the capital worth of the humans that she was defending. Well, my warfare will soon be ended. My race is almost run. My warfare will soon be ended. And then I'm going home. Christ was a wayward traveler. He went from door to door. His occupation mainly was administering to the poor. And they call my God a demon. They call his saints the same. And when I shout amen, I want you to say his name. 'Cause you can rebuke me all you want to. I'm traveling to my Lord. I'm well acquainted with the gospel, and I'm well acquainted with the word. And my warfare will soon be ended. My race is almost run. My warfare will soon be ended. And then I'm going home. And then I'm going home. Then I'm going home. Then I'm going home. Thank you very much. I'm going to do a piece about being poor. This was popular in the 1930s, so those of you who are a little older out there may also not remember it. This is the finest echo harp that China can make. It's still not a very good one. And the fools don't have the technology to stamp what key you're looking at on the side of it. There it is. Or they've industrialized too quickly. They haven't caught up with the need to letter their harmonicas on either side of it, which is a true sign of an advanced civilization, if you ask me. Would I be able to read? I can read one letter at a time. It's when they get all jumbled together that's problematic. Well, this is a place to try out something new. So I was hanging out with, I got to open for Dom Flemons of the Carolina Chocolate Drops recently, and he does all these kick-ass tricks on the bones. And I got so jealous, I was like, God damn it, I'm going to do that whether I'm good at it or not. So here goes. Nothing. Again, this was popular in the 1930s, so whatever ghosts are out there that will haunt me for doing this incorrectly, I ain't afraid of them. I've got superior technology. I can find an app for that. Make sure my left hand is good here. That's the important part. The right hand's going to make it. Anyway, I'm going to stop narrating my inner experience here. Well, let me tell you, people, something that's true. When you work at the mill, tell you what you gotta do. Get up in the morning before daylight, labor all day until it gets night. Work all day and get pale in the face, standing so long in the same damn place. Long comes the boss, hard as he can tear. Want you to think he's a grizzly bear. It's ash to ashes, dust to dust. Let the poor man live and the rich man bust. If you want to get your supper, boy, you better run. But blow that whistle right before you're done. And when payday comes, boy, you won't have a penny to pay your bills, 'cause you got so many. Sometimes you hear a noise like a pecker would. Only the merchants trying to sell their goods. All those boys are just about gray, studying to get all the poor man's pay. It's ash to ashes and a dust to dust. Let the poor man live and the rich man bust. Well, some people run all the mill folk down. Mill folk people make the world go round. They have a little drink, have a little fun. When everything's done, they'll rake out the mun. I left the mountains when I was a strip. Never will forget that awful trip. Walked all day behind an apple wagon. When I got to town, my ass was a dragon. It's ash to ashes, dust to dust. Let the poor man live and a rich man bust. When wintertime comes, there's hell to pay. Go to the boss, gonna have to say, boy, I need a load of wood. What? Need a ton of coal? Huh? Everything's bad. Go in the hole. Gotta buy groceries at some chain store. Can't afford to pay no more. And if I don't starve, I'm a son of a gun. Can't buy food without no money. It's ash to ashes, dust to dust. Let the poor man live and the rich man bust. It's ash to ashes and a dust to dust. Poor man lives and the rich man bust. I just keep trying to add to my folk singular presentation things, because folk songs have a tendency to be so boring to people that you just gotta keep kind of mixing it up. You know what I mean? This is a clowning profession. It's not a respectable one. I wouldn't want to be in a part of any club that was deemed respectable or would have me as a member, as Groucho Marx used to say. I'm going to do another old hymn. Like I said, it is Wednesday night, so if we're not getting closer to Jesus and we're not getting closer to touching each other's butts, so then what are we doing? So because I'm so far away from you guys' butts, I'm going to do this. Hymn I learned in Springfield, Arkansas, at a Sacred Harp gathering. It's from the Missouri Harmony, and it's called "Why Should We Start and Fear to Die?" And why should we, after all? Why should we start and fear to die? What timorous worms we mortals are. Death is the gate to endless joy, and yet we fear to enter there. And yet we fear to enter there. And yet we fear to enter there. The pains, the groans, the dying strife, they fright approaching souls away, and we shrink back again to life, fond of our prison, fond of our clay, fond of our prison, fond of our clay, fond of our prison, fond of our clay. Oh, if my soul soul would come and meet. My soul would stretch her wings in haste, fly fearless through death's iron gate, nor feel the terrors as she passed. Jesus can make a dying bed feel soft as downy pillows are, and on his breast I lay my head and breathe my life out sweetly there, and breathe my life out sweetly there, breathe my life out sweetly there. All right, well, I'm just going to keep it sad here for a minute. I'm going to do the Ballad of Penny Ovens as is requested back there. Thank you for asking for it. I like to think that folk songs are proof that we can use the ashes of old things to fertilize new gardens, that something doesn't burn up for absolutely nothing, that we can take the old and busted and use it as a paradigm to build something new and beautiful together. And I don't think that there's any song that is a better use of a political or social tool of folk songs than this ballad, the Ballad of Penny Evans, that was written by Steve Goodman in the 1970s as a Vietnam protest ballad. He wrote it based off of a 19th century Scottish melody called The Flying Cloud, and changed it up to make more sense to people nowadays now, which is, I think, kind of our duty, is to use these things as tools in order to keep us away from a bunch of bullshit that we don't need, like war and sex and hamburgers and suburban ticky-tacky houses and bourgeois ideology and so on and so forth. So this is the Ballad of Penny Evans. Well, my name is... I want to start in the right key. Well, my name is Penny Evans, and my age is 21. I'm a widow of the war that's being fought in Vietnam, and I have 2 infant daughters, and I do the best I can. Well, they say the war is over, but I think it just began. I remember I was 17 when first I met young Bill. At his father's grand piano we played good old Heart and Soul. And I only knew the left-hand part, oh, but he the right so well. He's the only boy I've slept with, he's the only one I will. And it's first we had a baby girl and we had 2 good years. After that the draft notice came, we parted without tears. And it's 9 months from our last night, our second babe appears. 6 months later now a letter comes confirming all my fears. And now it's every month I get a check from an army bureaucrat. And it's every month I tear it up and send the damn thing back. Do they think that I can be bought off? Do they think I'll fall for that? I don't want this bloody money, it won't bring my Billy back. And I've never cared for politics, things I don't understand. Likewise, never take no charity from any living man. But it's 50,000 Billies dead in that unhappy land. And it's 50,000 heart and souls being played with just one hand. And my name is Penny Evans, and my age is 21. And I'm a widow of the war that's being fought in Vietnam. And I have 2 infant daughters. Oh, I'm glad I have no sons. Well, they say the war is over, but I know it's just begun.
pleasure. And off he goes into the night. All right. That's a tough one to sing because there's so many murder ballads out there that people would rather hear. I like that one because it's not a murder ballad. It's like an anti-murder ballad. Let's take an emotionally overlooked position of a woman left behind by the war, right? And write a song about that instead of singing songs about. I'm looking right at Johnny right now. Instead of writing songs about killing women and doing a bunch of cocaine and slapping your wife around, who happens to be a member of the Carter family, that sucks, John. That sucks. Anyways, I guess what I want to say is that we need to have a global reckoning with masculinity and its discontents. And a nice way to start that is in our vernacular folk culture. So I'll get the hell off my soapbox right now and just do a song about getting drunk. I wrote this song for my drunk uncle right after he passed away. He died of a brain aneurysm, and his last words on the way down to the ground, he reportedly said, "Oh, shit." And the reason I think that's funny is because if he had his druthers, he would have said 1,000 words. He would have had all kinds of funny stuff to say on the way down, because he was funny even when he was lit as hell. And I didn't know that he was drunk. I just thought he was funny when I was a kid. So one of the things that he used to say is if he was about to crack open a cold Coors Light or eat a pulled pork sandwich, he would say, "Boy, howdy, hot dog." So I thought that was a very funny hillbilly portmanteau. So I collected a bunch of other hillbilly portmanteaus from hither and yon around the Ozarks and came up with this number right here called "Boy, Howdy, Hot Dog." Them coals are turning bright red, firewood in the truck bed, rivers running low this time of year. Ragweeds on the turnpike, bedrooms mostly Christmas lights. Sorry friend, I don't lend tools. Boy, had a hot dog, pretty good life, pretty little house, pretty big wife. She lets me fry her pork chop twice a week. Just a euphemism. Well, hot plate, baby went and made a cake. I never seen a heaven that didn't have a snake. Well, hot plate, baby went and made a cake. I never seen a heaven that didn't have a snake. Blue jay's a mean-ass bird, ugliest song you've ever heard. Get off my porch, I'll kick your ass. Everything she does is magic. I watch her catch a lizard. Careful or his tail will come right off. Boy, I had a hot dog, pretty good life, pretty little house, pretty big wife. She lets me fry her catfish twice a week. Which is another euphemism. Well, swamp roast, sweat stain, get money, make it rain, cold beer, tin can, Cadillac, Mustang. Well, swamp roast, sweat stain, get money, make it rain, cold beer, tin can, Cadillac, Mustang. Doctor asked me where it hurts. Born to fish, forced to work. Don't let him tell you what your broken heart's worth. Fire ant on the sugar trail, tail feathers on a nightingale. Arrowheads and bones is all you'll find. Boy, had a hot dog, pretty good life, pretty little house, pretty big wife. Lets me wear her underwear anytime I please, which is not a euphemism. Well, she's thick as a forest and a cavalry of bushwhackers. Never seen a bald number, bullets wouldn't scatter. Well, she's thick as a forest and a cavalry of bushwhackers. Never seen a bald number, bullets wouldn't scatter. Well, I recently went to London to play a festival over there. And as soon as I said that phrase, she's thick as a forest and a cavalry of bushwhackers. Never seen a bald number, bullets wouldn't scatter. Somebody in the audience, and I can't do a British accent, but I'll try here, they said, "What does that mean?" And I had to explain to them that it basically just was Southern to say penis several times. And turns out that they have a bunch of euphemisms for that kind of thing as well. What do you know? We had a great conversation, me and that guy. So I just wanted to offer this as a paradigm for, interactions with other cultures. Is talk about your filthy words together for a little while.
And then, you know, they aren't just a person with crooked teeth who heckled you, and you aren't just a tall, fat cowboy. Goddamn, I'll be go to hell. This bar's mostly peanut shells. If you'll drive, we can play pool. Hot pocket, sweet potato pie. Saturday, Sunday rolling by. Take off your pants. Let's watch TV. Boy, had a hot dog, pretty good life, pretty little house, pretty big wife. I can't recall my ex-wife's name. Something my uncle really said to me one time. Knowing full well, I think in his sober mind, that he had only one wife at all. But then he said, like a 12th century Zen monk or some kind of shit, boy, the love you lost is right where you left it. All right, gone forever. Boy, crack a beer, forget it. Yeah, the love you lost is right where you left it. All right, gone forever. Go ahead, crack a beer, forget it. Them coals are turning bright red, firewood's in the truck bed, rivers running low this time of year. Thank you. Well, now's the point in the evening where I ask if anybody has any requests. Very fine. I can't, you know, I can't do a Mississippi John Hurt song, but and I wish that I could be. I've stolen from him too liberally. You know what I mean? It's like there's got to be a lot of artists out there. If you said Bob Dylan, they'd be like, you know, it just sounds like all the other stuff. But really, my guy for that is Mississippi John Hurt. I will do Folk Art Masterpiece, but I'll do another one first. I'll do a different one because you said a great blues master. I've been trying to study under somebody else besides Mississippi John Hurt for a little while, you know what I mean? Kind of goallessly, amblingly play through the repertoire of a great blues singer that I will never be like, in part because I'm not an African-American man from the 1930s, but also because, man, those guys had right hands and left hands and brains. What do you know? And bodies and labor and material labor and immaterial labor and so on. This is a blind Willie McTelton, called The Dying Crap Shooters Blues. And I think it's just friggin' brilliant. It's I was doing a little research on it. It turns out that it's a combination of like 5 different folk song forms. So in the rapidly industrialized urban South in Atlanta, this guy takes like a Scots-Irish ballad form, a rural country blues, and then his own kind of weird progression, and just kind of slams them together into this like beautiful hodgepodgenated song about the death of a gambler. So this is it. This is the Dying Crap Shooters Blues. Little Jesse was a gambler, night and day. Well, he used crooked cards and dice. Nice fella, good-hearted, but he had no soul. Heart was hard and cold like ice. Jesse was a wild, reckless gambler, won a gang of change. Many gamblers' heart he left in pain. When he began to spend and lose, his money began to be blue and all alone. Once more his heart had even turned to stone. What broke Jesse's heart when he was blue and all alone? Sweet Lorena packed up and gone. Police come shot my friend Jesse down. Boys, I got to die today. He had a gang of crap shooters gathered round his coffin side. Hear the words he had to say. I guess I ought to know how I'd like to go. Well, I want 3 crap shooters be my pallbearers. Let them all be decked out in black. Want 9 men going to my graveyard, honey, only 8 men coming back. I want the judge and solicitor who jailed me 14 times to paint a crooked card on my hearse. Don't say the crap shooters never grieve over me. My life's been a doggone curse. Well, send poker players to my graveyard, dig my grave with the ace of spades. 9 policemen in my funeral march, high sheriff playing blackjack, lead the parades. I want the judge and solicitor who jailed me 14 times to put a paradise in my shoe. Let a deck of cards be my tombstone, buddy, got them dying crap shooters blues. Yeah, let a deck of cards be my tombstone, buddy, got them dying crap shooters blues. 16 real good crap shooters, 29 racket men to play a song, 16 racket men gambling, couple tenant bar while I'm rolling along. Want 22 women at the Hampton Hotel, 29 out of South Bell, 16 women out of North Atlanta. Jesse didn't come out so swell. Now his head was aching, heart was thumping, little Jesse went bouncing and jumping. Folks, don't be standing around Jesse crying. Wants everybody do the Charleston now while he's dying. Say, 1 foot up in a toenail dragging, put my boy Jesse in the hoodoo wagon. Come on, mama, with that can of booze, the dying crap shooters blues. I mean, it's those dying crap shooters blues. That'll make you sweat. What's that? Yeah. Well, now they're rolling in. All right, I'll do Tyler's and then I'll do yours and then we'll do 2 sing-alongs and then I'll shut up. Does that sound good? By which I mean, when I say that we'll do sing-alongs, that means that you have to do them with me, or I won't ever leave. I'll just be up here all night. Travis is looking at me like, that's what you think. All right. All right. Well, I wrote this is my love song to Arkansas. I wrote this for my grandmother. She read James Joyce's Ulysses last year, and she's 92, and she grew up in a shack in Mississippi and taught herself to read, I think. I don't think that she managed to make it to public school, but a couple of years, and she said that Ulysses was not nearly as dirty as she hoped it would be. Now, that's the kind of broad that she is. I can't wait to go see her. She's in Wichita, and I'm ending my tour up to Alaska and back going to go see her, and I can't wait to listen to her talk about her quilts, honestly. Well, my grandmother grew up in a 2-room shack, the last of 7 children. She used to dress in gunny sacks. Said that times were hard, families scattered near and far, like seeds into the dirt, like the dimmest set of stars. Well, there's preachers every Sunday, muscadines each fall. I'd like to die in Arkansas if I should die at all. Yeah, you could call it alchemy, some ancient art of old. Hillbillies with no money spend their garbage into gold. 'Cause I swear a square dance saved my life one hot summer's day. I swear I was about to end myself, I swear I was bound away. I swear I heard the voice of God between the callers' cries, an Ozark fiddle tune, a pretty girl's brown eyes. And there's preachers every Sunday, muscadines each fall. I'd like to die in Arkansas if I should die at all. Yeah, I thought that being poor would weigh heavy on my soul. It's a little drunken happiness like this that makes me whole. A little drunken happiness like this that makes me whole. And you say that anyone could do this. I know that's so. I know I ain't Walt Whitman. I know she ain't Van Gogh. You can't account for taste, but I know my north from south. And it's a goddamn folk art masterpiece when she opens up her mouth. It's a goddamn folk art masterpiece when she opens up her mouth. And there's preachers every Sunday, muscadines each fall. I'd like to die in Arkansas if I should die at all. Yeah, I thought that being happy was never in the cards. The 3 chords in a song to sing might get us pretty far. 3 chords in a song to sing might get us pretty far. Well, there's preachers every Sunday, muscadines each fall. I'd like to die in Arkansas if I should die at all. Oh, thank you. Woo! Oh, no matter how close you get to home, you're always going to miss it, aren't you? Oh, God. Whew. All right. That is my nonsensical ululation of the evening right there. And no matter how close you get to home, you're always going to miss it. You ever sit there with somebody that you love and just think, I can't get any closer to this person. We're as close as two human beings can be, and I'm not fucking close enough. That's really driving me crazy these days. I just want to get a little bit closer. Anyways, this is one about death. I usually play this with a very beautiful and talented cello player that I know. She's got long red hair and she just plays whip-ass cello and sings harmony along with this. And I was going to say you should imagine me as her, and that will help if you imagine me as with long red hair and that I'm just really beautiful, just flowing red locks. It's really useful. No, you don't have it. Your deficits in imagination are not the fault of this song, I should add. This is called The Small Things. I hope I die in Sedgwick County on a cold and wet October. Turn the earth over, lay me in, lay me in. And I hope you make the drive up. Hope it breaks your shitty car. Hope you bring your guitar. Sing about what little worms we are. How the rapture saves us all. Honey, I don't know if I believe in heaven. Well, in my head it's always dark and bare. Honey, I can't think of an afterlife worth living. When in your heaven I know I ain't there. When in your heaven I know I ain't there. And if I cry, it's for the small things. 2 beers on a Wednesday night, church songs in the firelight. If you sing, sing for the big thing hanging over our heads. The best you've done is love. It still ends up dead. Yes, the best you've done is love. It still ends up dead. They're gonna drag me up to heaven to see old St. Peter in nothing but a wife beater. Tell him what I done, what I've done. I'm gonna fight with all the angels, get drunk in heaven's bars, saying goodbye's too hard. They'll cut me off, they'll cut me off. Honey, I don't know if I believe in heaven. In my head it's always dark and bare. Honey, I can't think of an afterlife worth living. When in your heaven I know I ain't there. When in your heaven I know I ain't there. And if I cry, it's for the small things. One summer spent hitching sweet kisses in the kitchen. If you sing, sing for the big thing hanging over our heads. The best you've done is love, it still ends up dead. Honey, I don't know if I believe in heaven. Well, in my head it's always dark and bare. Honey, I can't think of an afterlife worth living. When in your heaven I know I ain't there. When in your heaven I know I ain't there. When in your heaven I know I ain't there. Oh. Thank you very much. Guys, I guess I had just better do two more. I want to do a sprank and a sprank. I want. Can somebody put, I need a shot. I always feel like I need to say that up here because there's Four Roses back here, and I just do want to say that it is my bourbon of choice. While Johnny Cash is not my folk music of choice, Four Roses happens to be. In a late stage capitalism, what can you expect but something that is only moderately your preference? You know, we have to know whether we want to or not that the McRib is back. That's burdensome. Takes up too much of my emotional and physical energy to know, and hell, it's going to kill me. We literally have to know a fact that brings you closer to death. I have spent minutes of my life acknowledging that the McRib has returned. Not nearly as good as Four Roses bourbon. Oh my God. Okay, anyways. I'm going to do two more. I'm going to do a brand new one that has never been heard before, which is I like to do on the Westport Saloon stage on a Wednesday night, or pretty much any weeknight that I'm here. I like to try out something brand spanking new. I don't do angry love songs anymore. I just can't write them because I'm in love all the time now, and God damn it, it's like rewiring your whole brain from being a sad bastard into being a really happy bastard, which I got to say there's way less patience for happy bastards out there than there is sad bastards. I am noticing that every day now. So I was down in San Antonio right after I left Kansas City the last time. This song begins in Kansas City, and then it ends in San Antonio, where two assholes tried to rob me. And so I'm in the street corner outside of this awful honky-tonk. I'd say the name, but, I can't remember. I had too much Four Roses. I just, normally I would say, oh my God, gentlemen, here's my wallet. I'm so sorry about systemic inequality. If you need a therapist, I have a good reference. If you're ever in Arkansas, maybe he can provide you with a reference. Like, I hope that your day improves, But instead I said, hey, assholes, leave me alone. And they did. And I thought, I need to write a song about this. About how I'm not afraid of people anymore. Because I'm a little bit more in love than I was. So this is called I Love My Love, and I Ain't Afraid. I had 10 parking tickets by the time I left Kansas City. I'm a goddamn outlaw. Those bastards will never find me. Like a bat out of hell in that old Cadillac. Turns out the brakes were crap. I was stuck down 20 miles from the Mississippi. By the time I got my head straight, it was nearly 10 p.m. There was only one bar open there and then, but I ain't the kind to care. And people would write their innermost feelings on $2 bills and tape them to the ceiling. I had this awful feeling I didn't have $2 to spare, but I would have written how I love my love, and I ain't afraid, except in that good way, except in that good way. And that old-time sadness is coming round the bend. I'm gonna kill it this time or it'll kill me again. I was on that Colorado jazz cabbage, that Tennessee sticky icky, that Charlie Daniels Band CBD proprietary blend, don't you see? It's medicinal. Like a man on a mountain, I felt fulfillment, but I fell asleep and forgot what it meant. Surely it was lovely, surely it was free. It understood itself, vast and lovely as the sea. It said, I love my love, and I ain't afraid, except in that good way, except in that good, good way. And that old-time sadness is coming round the bend. I'm gonna kill it this time, or it'll kill me again. Surely, dag nabbit, I can't kick the habit. Once, twice more, I'm in love, and it's for real this time. This time I'm a little less dumb. Like a kid on a bike in the hot summer's air, aluminum bends and asphalt tears, and no one knows just what'll become of the kid who's crying over what he's done. But I will speculate upon a recent situation in San Antone. 2 assholes tried to rob me. I said, hey, assholes, you should leave me alone. And they had no earthly way of knowing that I'm invincible, that my love is all I've got, and you can't steal what no one owns. And I should have told them that I love my love, and I ain't afraid, except in that good way, except in that good, good way. And that old-time sadness is coming round the bend. I'm gonna kill it this time, but it'll kill me again. I'm gonna kill it this time, but it'll kill me again. That's brand spanking new. I got some work to do on that one, but every now and again you see something coming at you that you're like, I can't say that on the radio. I got to remember that. But no matter how many times you put that in your head, you know, that to not be able to say something on the radio, I guarantee you that when you're sitting there in that radio studio, that you're going to be coming up on like the word, you're going to be looking for a word that rhymes with gum for, you know, a sticky generative procreative substance, and you're going to be like, oh God, I can't do this. Anyhow, this is my last song. I have become loquacious up here. I apologize. I have a predilection for loquacity, predilection for loquacity that I engage in occasionally when I have too much of the aforementioned Four Roses. So up next is Mr. Tyler Giles. Sorry. Damn it. I would have never messed it up if they hadn't messed. How guileless of me. And you are not going to want to miss that. If you like to cry like I do, then we can all hold each other and cry together during some of these songs. I have enjoyed these driving down many a lonely highway, and I'm looking forward to enjoying them looking at some of the best forearms in all of folk and country music. Is that too objectifying? You just have great forearms, man. I've noticed it many times. Anyhow, I hope you'll roll up those sleeves and give us a show. What kind of vibe is it that you want in here, Travis? Again, is it? Anyways, you know, you can throw singles in that bucket. Please don't throw singles directly onto the stage. This is a sing-along, and this will be my last song. I'm going to get the hell off the stage. It has a very singable chorus. I'm not going to try to outsmart you. I'm just going to sing a really simple line over and over again, and it goes, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. Can we try that? I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. That's great. I got most of you. Try to shame your neighbor a little bit. Utah Phillips, this great anarchist folk singer, who's one of his songs I sang, used to say, those of you that don't sing, I'll see to it that a Hare Krishna monk is sent to your doorstep. And when you say, get out of here, you stinky bum, with your weird Bible and your patchouli, he'll turn to you and he'll say, namaste. Some of you are quicker than others. That's good. Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go. Well, I was born on the wide prairie with its wheat so wild and strong. I left my home when I turned 21. Still don't know if I was wrong. 'Cause I know a girl down in southern Illinois has me tangled up like kudzu vines. One good look at her white underwear, I could tell she'd never be mine. And to tell you the truth, I miss all the laughs of loving one another like sociopaths. So I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. There's our part. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. And if I was a bird, I would tear up my throat, throwing songs across telephone wires. If I was a dog, I would rattle my chain, let my handlers decide how I live, how I die. I'll let the wind and bite my own tail and piss on the grass so they'd know who I was. Ask me why I leave a dying trace. It's either for fear or maybe for love. And to tell you the truth, I can't go free. I need the master's leash more than it needs me. So I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. That's us. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. And I think I've arrived maybe once every year when I'm singing with my friends before we leave. I think that I love you, I know that we're dying. Why the fuck should that be what we alternatingly believe? What makes one feel holy makes another feel broke. Like I'm mostly my hat, like I'm mostly my coat. And that lovers will lie is one thing you can trust. What we ain't said might still save us. I'll be ashes if you be dead. And to tell you the truth, I know God's here still, in a sweet loving Westland over the hill. So I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. Folks, I'm hoping we can do it one more time. My name is Willi Carlisle. It was a great pleasure to be up here and to talk too much and have too much to drink on stage in front of you tonight. I want you to stick around to listen to Tyler Giles. I can't wait. I just can't wait to hear him again. It's been over a year since I've had the great pleasure to do it. I want to take a second to remind everybody that Black Lives Matter and that the future is queer and female and that we do all have to build it together. So let's not argue about it too much unless you want to argue with me about it right now, in which case we can go outside right now, in about 30 seconds. I do want to say that there is no ethical consumption under late capitalism, and I do take cash and credit for a few CDs over there. You can grab yourself a sticker for free on your way out if you want. I hope that you will tell your friends because I'm going to Alaska and terrified. All right, let's do it together. Let's see if we can make the rafters shake. See if we can make the rich people 4 blocks over wake up and say, oh my God, I've stolen all this money and I got to give it back to all the regular people. Here we go. I'm waiting, I'm waiting.